What it do, bruh? Talk of the town, Nintendo, Doc Trey, still holding it down, still make the best games, and you know this, bro. It's the truth. You don't like it, you can have that seat. Alright, so I know strictly from the beginning of this video, a bunch of people are going to immediately dislike this video and go to the comment section talking nonsense because they don't realize what I'm actually saying and are not going to actually watch the video. So to them, I say, go ahead and have that seat. Now, the rest of us will have this discussion here. So make one thing clear here. I am not saying that the Nintendo Switch is more powerful than the PlayStation 4 Pro or the Xbox Scorpio or even the Xbox One. Because in terms of raw performance, it's not. And if you even look at the form factor compared to those systems, you'd have to be a retard to believe that would even really be possible. Right? Not saying that. However, what I am saying, at least based on all the information we have on the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox Scorpio thus far, the Nintendo Switch features more modern chips. Period. Now, the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One Scorpio are far more powerful than the Nintendo Switch, but the way they are achieving these better visuals is mostly due to brute force and not exactly newer technology. Now, as many of you know or should know by now, the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One Scorpio still use Jaguar CPUs. Now, Jaguar CPUs are not very good. Now, they've been overclocked in these systems to achieve higher performance, but the performance of the Jaguar core in general is not very good. For example, the single-threaded performance of the Jaguar core is even worse than that of the Wii's CPU. Not the Wii U, the Wii's CPU. Okay? So what that means is clock for clock, even a PowerPC 750CL that the original Wii uses is a better performing CPU than Jaguar. Okay? So, but Sony and Microsoft had to still use those Jaguar CPUs for two reasons. One, using a newer CPU or the next one up from AMD would have made those systems cost even more. And also, there would have been issues with backwards compatibility because these systems are mandated that all the past PlayStation 4 and Xbox One games all run fine and perfectly, or actually better, on these systems. So they had to use these CPUs. They had no choice, right? Now with the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo went a clean slate, and oh my gosh, I'm so glad that they did that. Now, you guys probably remember probably a couple years ago, I said they should ditch backwards compatibility, go with a clean slate so that they could get a system and a newer architecture that was much easier to develop for. And now you guys see what I meant all along. You guys are not missing Wii U backwards compatibility, are you? With all the games that we've getting announced for the Nintendo Switch, all the praise that the developers are giving the Switch in terms of ease of development, yeah, it's really been worth it. Add to the fact that a lot of these Wii U games are getting ported to the Switch. So, yeah, there you go. So good job on Nintendo on that one. Now, the next system after this will more than likely have backwards compatibility. But like I said, back then, the Nintendo Switch, we had to take one for the team for this one to get a newer architecture. So back to what I was saying. So the CPU that the Nintendo Switch uses is newer and performs better per clock than that of the, I almost said Atari Jaguar, the AMD Jaguar Core. All right. Now, moving on to the GPU. Now, people gave Nintendo a lot of flack for using a standard Tegra X1 from 2015. But the crazy part is, while the GPU does not have the same horsepower, of course, as the PlayStation 4 Pro or the Xbox One Scorpio, the GPU is still newer than both of those. So the Xbox One Scorpio's GPU is still a modified, a heavily modified version of the Xbox One's GPU, but that is to ensure backwards compatibility, like I said before. The PlayStation 4 Pro's GPU is even less modified because out of Mark Cerny's mouth, it's actually two PlayStation 4 GPUs side by side. Literally. They use the smaller manufacturing process, which is the was it 16 nanometer or 14 nanometer? I forgot which one. And that allowed them to place two PlayStation 4 GPUs side by side in that space. So the PlayStation 4 GPU is not really like customized really at all. The Xbox One Scorpio is much more customized, but it is still technically a souped up version of the Xbox One vanilla GPU. But like I said, they had to go that way for backwards compatibility reasons. Now, what that means is that the underlying tech behind the GPU of the Nintendo Switch is still newer. It's still more modern because those GPUs are based on GPUs from 2012, 2013. The Tegra X1 is based on tech from 2005, right? So, reading about what the developers behind the core tech of the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One has been interesting because a lot of the advantages and supposed new features of the new technology that these consoles are supposed to be using aren't really new at all. First, we had Mark Cerny talking about one of the biggest additions of using Polaris was mixed precision FP16 on the PlayStation 4 Pro. Now, that may be new to PlayStation, but that is not new technology. In fact, the Nintendo Switch has that in the Tegra X1. It's been in mobile chips for a while, right? Then I'm reading a similar thing about Scorpio on Eurogamer Digital Foundry. And the Microsoft exec is saying that one of the biggest features from Polaris was delta color compression. But the crazy part is, like I said, that is not new. That's new to Xbox. But delta color compression was in Tegras since the Tegra K1. As a matter of fact, the Tegra X1, which is what the Nintendo Switch GPU is based on, is already on the third generation of delta color compression. So the crazy part to me is the two things that both Sony and Microsoft touted as being some of the two defining new features of their new systems are something that the Nintendo Switch has, but only their systems only have one of those. And the fact that the Scorpio doesn't have FP16, that's kind of mind-boggling to me. I don't know why they would do that. especially considering so many games that use Unreal Engine 4, and Unreal Engine 4 has big support for mixed precision. And that's actually one of the reasons why the Nintendo Switch runs Unreal Engine 4 games so fast and so well, because they are designed with mixed precision in mind. Let alone the fact that Nintendo Switch uses a GPU designed by NVIDIA, and NVIDIA helped design Unreal Engine 4 and 3. But yeah, so what do you guys think about this? Now, like I said before, Nintendo Switch, when it comes to overall horsepower, it's not matching the other systems, but when all is said and done, it actually has newer tech. What do you guys think about that? Let me know.